I'm Sarah, and this video is a part of the ParentTube video series. This video gives you ideas for working on speech and language at home with your deaf or hard of hearing child during cooking activities. So I'm sure you already cook all the time, and this is a great way to both involve your child and also work on his or her speech and language at the same time. So let's get started. So the first tip is to follow a recipe. And I'm not sure if when you cook usually you do it just out of your head or if you do follow recipes, but when you're cooking with your child and making it an activity for their speech and language, it's great to have a recipe right in front of you and your child so he or she can refer to it. And there's many reasons why this will be so helpful. One tip while I'm talking about that is to use a picture recipe, and that just looks something similar to this. There's really no specific way a picture recipe is. It really is just what it sounds like, a recipe with pictures. And here it's just for a peanut butter sandwich, something very simple, but it just shows the piece of bread with the peanut butter and the knife. But the reason I say that is because, especially if your child isn't a fluent reader yet, but no matter what your child's age is, it's great to have pictures with the recipes that go along with it and reinforce the vocabulary words that they're saying and learning. So that just would work really well. And you could write your own picture recipes by just adding pictures to your recipes that you currently already have, or you could find picture recipes online, and there's many sources for that. And I'll add the links for those websites in the notes section of this video so you could refer back to them. So going off of recipes is really great to also emphasize sequencing with your child. And of course you're not going to say, oh, let's do sequencing now, but there are so many things you could do that will help them with that. For example, just by having them follow the directions, by talking with them about what you're doing first, what you're doing next, what you're doing last, by recalling, oh, we just did this, but what did we do first? Maybe your child's mixing something now, but oh, what did we add to that prior to mixing? You know, just ways for them to recall what they did before, what they're doing after, just to familiarize them with sequencing. Another thing you could do while you're cooking is to make sure you label the actions. Cooking is a great way to enhance your child's vocabulary of action words and to just expand your child's vocabulary is a better way, I guess, to say it. And especially having them say and hear these words like stirring and pouring, mixing, baking, cooking, dumping, spreading, any of those action words are just great. To just add as many as you can, expose your child to them, have your child say them as he or she is doing them. That's just something really great you can do while cooking and working on your child's speech at the same time. Some other things you can do is talk about the descriptive words. Foods have different tastes, they have different smells, sounds. Just talk about these things. Talk about the names of the foods you're using. There's so many things you could do while cooking. Something great that you can really do is target the speech sounds that your child is currently working on with his or her speech therapist. Perhaps your child's working on the S sound, so saying something like stir would be great, or using foods that have this sound. And I'm sure you don't have to alter your recipe for that. You could just look through your recipe and find all those words and make sure you're emphasizing them when you're talking to your child. You could really adapt any recipe to focusing on a certain speech sound, so it can be done so easily, and it'll be great because your child will just get more practice with that while doing this fun activity with you, and he or she won't even know that it's a speech activity, so that's really great. Just wanted to add, speech has just been found to be enhanced while using both visual and tactile activities, and cooking is the perfect way to do that, especially with these picture recipes where the foods are visually reinforced. And of course cooking is a tactile activity and it's very hands-on and makes learning fun, and speech has really been found to be enhanced by these things. So I'm just advocating for you to cook with your child and do this. But let's move on. Sorry, I got on a little rant about that. But what else can you do? You can also have your child request different things he needs. Perhaps he's stirring and then he sees on the recipe that it looks like chocolate chips being there. So wait for your child to ask and maybe have them say, "Ooh, Mom, can I please have the chocolate chips?" Have them practice asking you that question. You could even ask your child questions, have them practice answering. Anything you do, you don't have to add all of these things, but just to be aware of the questions you're asking and how your child's answering them. Something really fun you could do is take pictures while you do this recipe with your child and then go back over it afterwards and make a little booklet and have your child go back, and that's going to reinforce the vocabulary and the words and the sounds that he or she said and you said even more by going back over that. And it'll be so fun for your child to see him or herself and remember what he or she baked or cooked and show other people, and that just gives another means for your child to be using his or her speech, and I'm sure they'll be really interested in doing that. So just to conclude the video, as I mentioned before, I added links to the websites with some picture recipes that you can get. I also added additional resources where you can get just some general kid-friendly recipes. I added a cute video reminding you of the song "Who Stole the Cookies from the Cookie Jar," just to show that you can really include anything with this in this cooking activity. So if you're making cookies, why not add in that song, which would be really fun. And I also included the resources I used to make this video so that you can refer back to those and get more detailed information. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, please comment below and I'll make sure to answer them. Thanks so much for watching and have a good day.